What is the most important aspect of Formula One? The obvious answer would be the car. If your car can reach high top speeds, handle corners quicker, and is more reliable than your competitors, surely that's all that matters. Well, I believe it's something else. And it's not the car, it's the helmet. Ever since Dan Gurney's first design in 1968, there's been massive strides towards making the driver's head as safe as possible. The helmet has become a staple of F1 as a result, and the drivers would look weird without them. So what do polymers and macromolecules have to do with this? Let's have a look. Polymers can be defined as a class of natural or synthetic compounds that are composed of macromolecules, compounds that are multiples of simpler chemical repeat units that are called monomers. The F1 helmet features a diverse array of synthetic polymers, polymers which are man-made and have been synthesized in laboratories. We will be covering the main ones used in the production of an F1 helmet today, and how they all play a pivotal role in protecting the driver's head and keeping the driver safe. First up, we have polyacrylonitrile, otherwise known as PAN. PAN has a cyanide group in its repeat unit from the addition polymerization of acrylonitrile. Whilst PAN itself isn't extensively used in the creation of an F1 helmet, the cyanide group aids PAN's most important function in this whole process, the creation of carbon fibre. PAN makes an excellent precursor to carbon fibre, as PAN's short, regular repeat units help to form a consistent, strongly bound carbon fibre material when synthesized. This yields a graphite-like hexagonal structure that has a very high tensile strength, meaning large loads of force can hit the material without fracturing the fibre. This made carbon fibre an ideal replacement for fiberglass for the use in helmet shells from 2001 onwards. Fiberglass has a lower tensile strength, making it more brittle and therefore more likely to fracture when hit. This poses more safety risks towards the driver, as carbon fibre does not have this issue. The biggest advantage of carbon fibre, though, is how much higher its strength to weight ratio is. This means that less material can be used to achieve the same impact resistance that fiberglass offers. In turn, this reduces the weight of the helmet and therefore reduces the risk of any neck-related problems to do with the helmet causing strain on the driver. The next polymer used on the helmet is Lexan. Formed via condensation polymerization, Lexan is the preferred material of choice for the visor over glass. Both materials are transparent, but Lexan boasts a much higher compressive strength, meaning it can withstand a higher force under compression without breaking than glass can. This makes it a much safer material than glass. These transparent properties of Lexan occur from its structure being amorphous, where its polymer chains occur at irregular intervals of random sequencing. As this isn't crystalline, Lexan can allow light to pass fully through itself without diffracting it back. This allows the material to be completely see-through. Unfortunately, Lexan does lack scratch resistance, so to combat this, a protective, organic, transparent coating is spread across the visor. This allows Lexan to retain its durable see-through properties, all the whilst mitigating impairment to the driver's vision through possible scratching. However, in 2009, driver Felipe Massa was struck by a detached spring from the car ahead whilst driving at the point where the visor met the helmet shell. Although Massa made a full recovery, action was taken to improve the safety of the helmet even more by adding a 50mm Zylon strip to overlap between the visor and the helmet shell. This strip of Zylon increased the stiffness and rigidity of the Lexan visor without impairing vision at all. The Zylon was able to do this via its extremely high tensile strength, accounting for Lexan's weaknesses and faults, ensuring an incident like Massa's never happened again. This very high tensile strength comes from Zylon's tightly fused benzobisoxazole bond in conjunction with its straight ladder-like backbone, which requires a lot of energy to break, enabling Zylon to be a hard-to-fracture polymer. This enables Zylon's tensile strength to be greater than even PAN carbon fibres. Despite this, the helmet shell is still mainly made up of carbon fibre instead of Zylon. This is down to how poor Zylon's compressibility is, and if it were to replace carbon fibre, the safety of the helmet would drastically decrease, as Zylon rarely outperforms carbon fibre when it comes to safety aspects of the helmet. Moving on to the inside of the helmet, a polymer known as Nomex is used. Nomex is formed via condensation polymerization and is also known as an aramid fibre, which is a polymer made up of aromatic polyamide repeat units. A layer of Nomex lines the inside of the helmet because of its high heat resistance due to the aramid fibres it's made of degrading at only really high temperatures, around 500 degrees Celsius. This makes Nomex perfect in the event of a fire, ensuring the driver is well protected and safe from any harm caused by the fire. These properties of Nomex are due to the contents of aramid fibres. The pi-stabilized phenyl groups and the high bond enthalpy amide linkages mean that high inputs of energy are required to break the chains apart individually, making them perfect in high energy scenarios such as fires. This all allows Nomex to perform its vital function. When Nomex comes into contact with a heat source, the material swells. This enlarged material then forms a protective layer between the driver's head and the heat source, allowing crucial time for the driver to escape the fire and reach safety as quickly as possible. The final polymer we'll be looking at is polystyrene, a commonly used polymer in packaging that is formed via addition polymerization. Whilst polystyrene does aid Nomex in heat resistance due to the phenyl group present in its repeat unit, its main function is to act as a cushion between the driver's head and the inside of the helmet shell. To get a mould comfortable for the driver, polystyrene's thermoplasticity comes into play. Thermoplastic materials are those which retain their original properties after going through a heating-cooling cycle. Polystyrene can be heated past its melting temperature, moulded into the desired shape to fit inside the helmet, and then left to cool. Once cooled, this new mould will retain the high compressive strength that ensures the driver's head is protective, all the whilst now being able to fit inside the helmet. The chemistry behind this stems from weak London forces between polymer chains. These weak interactions are easily overcome upon heating, allowing moulding of the compound due to a now weakened liquefied structure. Once fully moulded and left to cool, these London forces will return to the compound and bring back its structural integrity. This retains the prior physical characteristics, but with a different overall shape now. I hope I've been able to show you how Formula 1 helmet design has massively benefited from the use of polymers. With a variety of different roles and functions being played, the design and safety of these helmets would be much worse off as a result, and consequently, the sport itself would be much more unsafe than it currently is. So, thank polymers next time you watch F1. Thanks for watching.